Jiminy Cricket, folks! Or, holy Schnikes. Those two things kind of mean the same thing. But anyway, as you all have known, I've complained about the penalty system in the past a whole heck of a heap. Or, poo ton. Those two also kind of mean the same thing. But y'all get my point. Even yesterday, I made the video where I'm going to be running a limited schedule with my main account, which I'll get into more later. But for now, I'm going to say this, holy Schnikes, Jiminy Cricket, they're changing up the penalty system, a whole heck of a heap, or a poo ton, or however you want to say it, whatever it's called, whatever. This is this, and I don't really care what it's called as long as it does its job. As long as it's implemented well, I don't really care about the stipulations. This is what I've been wanting for a long time, and it's finally here, folks. I'll go through it in detail and then give my thoughts about it, but actually all the information's already on the screen, and I'll go and sum it up in one word. Hallelujah, folks. It's finally happening. Hallelujah, folks. Anyway, getting into the details. Penalty judgment algorithm update notice. That's the best thing I've said in a while. Let's get into it, folks. The penalty judgment algorithm for car collision during the online races of Gran Turismo Sport will be updated to new rules. Let's get this over a tad bit up. Make sure I didn't cut anything off. Anyway, following the scheduled maintenance planned for Wednesday, July 10th. As far as I know, that depends on your region, because I think here that means midnight on the 11th, given that this came out on the 10th, I think. Unless they're doing extra long maintenance to put this in, but it seemed like the maintenance notice I got when I got onto the game was the same as usual. But whatever, that's not the main point of when it is or how long it is. This is the actual information. To be exact, the details of the update are as follows. I shouldn't really be criticizing grammar right yonder, but I do think the follow is supposed to be follows, but whatever. Again, I don't really care as much about how they word it as long as it works. So, yeah, anyway. Affected mode, sport mode, including daily races and lobby. Okay, again, I said I don't really care as much about, like, the stipulations and all that as long as it works. This would also better work in the FI races, because those are the ones that actually people race for tangible things if they're high enough. Didn't actually mention FI races on this, so I'm gonna go with maybe the reason they didn't mention FI races because sport mode, they're already like that implements the FI races, like by default, that's what they mean. Because I noticed they put into parentheses including daily races, so I think they're implying FI by default. And then also this includes daily races. Because generally in the past, the last few times they've changed individual things about how the online racing works, it's been in the FI races, meaning just the official season starting and the points changes, all that. And then a little bit before that they implemented sometimes the barriers on the track limits and all that, and those were all in FI races. So I assume this is implying FI by default. But I guess we're about to find out. This had better include FIA for Jiminy Cricket's sakes. But anyway, still for now, stay positive because I'm assuming it is including FIA. May as well assume the best for now. But anyway, changes. Players with driver rating DR of A or higher will no longer be judged under stricter collision criteria, but will be judged under the same criteria as for players with driver rating lower than A. I guess that's good. I mean, the weird thing is the way I do racing, I generally get more B class in lobbies, even though I'm up the top half of the A plus class. At one point I was top 100 in the world for driver rating, but that's not the main issue that I necessarily saw with it. The main issue that I saw with it was it seems like the sportsmanship rating was what was more affected than the driver rating. I mean, obviously if you get wrecked and you get a penalty and you finish low, it will lower your driver rating, but I just hope they do something about the sportsmanship rating. You can basically just run around nobody and then have it go up, but if another person hits you, it goes down. I mean, if they change the penalty system again, not that big a deal, because that goes back to like two videos ago again, where I mentioned how I'm not caring as much about sportsmanship rating. But in general, people want their sportsmanship ratings to be helped as well as their driver rating, because those do have a correlation. Whatever, I'll take whatever fixes they give, but at least in my experience, the messed up penalty system affected sportsmanship rating more than it did driver rating. So we'll see. And racing in my alternate account, I had a fair share of penalties on that as well when I was never A-class driver rating. So, I don't know. This seems pretty arbitrary too, because it just said, will no longer be judged under stricter conditions. Like what those conditions are, I don't know. But if they're not there anymore, yay, I guess. I don't know. This seems kind of vague is what I'm saying. But anyway, other stuff like contacts between cars will no longer result in penalty. Well, I was saying that's vague. And again, I don't really care as much about how it's worded. As long as it works, they can say whatever they want. If they make it successful, then that does more talking than the explaining it with words. I like contacts. There's really nothing more to say there than we don't know what that truly means yet. But I guess we're going to find out. Hopefully it's consistent and not a track by track, car class by car class type thing. Hopefully it's just like a speed type thing. If you're bump drafting, no matter the class, that's not a penalty. If you get brake checked, that's a penalty for the person that does brake check. If you kind of get a reverse brake check, like somebody brakes too late into a corner and then you get rammed, braking at the normal distance, the person who rams you gets a penalty and then you don't. Can they do it that way? Well, I guess we're gonna find out, folks. And then the amount of seconds issued for a time penalty will be lowered. And again, that's kind of an iffy thing as well. Because as I've said before, it seems like the only thing that really did change between 1.13 and 1.14 was that it seemed like it was easier for people to like cut the track and wall ride and stuff and get away with it and delete the penalty and stuff. This may make it even easier to cheat in that aspect. I hope not. Hopefully they do it in terms of time penalty, meaning hitting other cars or other cars hitting you. If other cars hit you, you shouldn't really get a penalty for that at all. But anyway, that portion of the time should be lowered. The wall riding and cutting the track and stuff, not quite as much. But then again, I feel like instead of having a cut the track penalty be less, they should have the stipulations in which counts as cut the track be more. The general consensus is if you have two tires on like the pavement bit, then you're good. That should just be how it is pretty consistently. I mean, that may take a minute to design it per track, but then again, they should have probably already done that, given that that's kind of the general worldwide accepting way of doing penalties and which is most fair for everyone, because that's a pretty easy stipulation to do as long as you put time in to do it, because two tires on the pavement, I mean, that's pretty easy to see, that's pretty noticeable to memorize, especially in this game which has pretty good physics. You can like feel that. You can feel how much of your car is on the whatever is more than the track, meaning either like the rumble strip or the grass or whatever it may be. Also, the final point about the whole penalty system in general is it's looking like it's going to be more lax all around. Again, we don't really know specifics because it's worded in a kind of a vague way. Let's just see how it works. But I will say this. The more lax it is in general, for the most part, should be better. Because this game does have good driving physics, racing physics, however you want to word it. So, meaning, if there is slightly more hits that can be given, it's easier to get used to that than it is a pretty cotton-picking random penalty system. Because the game has consistent driving physics. You know how hard one car can hit another. Once you get used to it, it'll be that way forever. Different cars, different classes affects it in different ways, but once you get used to it per class, per car, whatever, you're good. The penalty system is random. There's really no getting used to it. So therefore, making the thing that's random more lax and having it evolve more around what's more of a consistent stipulation seems to be the way to go. So I think no matter how it turns out, in general, it will be better. But specifics like this, meaning it may not be in the FI races, this in general, and definitely this, there could be some bad stuff. People may cheat more, it may not help in the FI races, and who knows what light contact means yet. But in general, I'm very much happy about this update. From how it's worded vague enough where there's no reason not to be positive. We'll just see how good it ends up being implemented. But for now, it sounds like it's pretty much perfect. This is what I've been asking for a long time, and this is what a lot of people have been asking for a long time. Some people have been asking actually for a stricter penalty system in terms of not allowing cheating, like cutting a track in an obvious way, or even doing a recent thing like the racing medium glitch instead of the racing hard glitch, but I assume that one will be fixed. But we'll see about the rest, folks. No way to know until it's fully implemented, but we only have to wait 8 hours, or by the time this video gets uploaded, like 2 hours, to see. So, we'll just wait and see, folks. I may do an update on this, depending on how well it's received. If it's terrible, then I may just do like a PD Logic video and include this in there, because I have some stuff to do a PD Logic video anyway. If it's good, then I'll probably do a video saying how much more racing I'll be doing. I may actually do more racing if they fix the penalty system, because that's what I said. We'll see, but for now it's a bit of a waiting game, but hopefully not too long. Let's just see how all this turns out, but for now it's looking like it should turn out good. And for now, that's more worth a yeehaw than I've had something more for yeehaw for a while with this game. So, yeehaw!